There exists in the minds of many people the idea that in order to make a lot of money through investing, you first need to have a lot of money. Today, I would like to show you how unfounded this notion is. Even with a low salary, if you play your cards right, you can end up making a lot of money for yourself and your loved ones too. Such was the case for a certain man whom Morgan Housel talked about in his book titled The Psychology of Money. This is what he had to say. My favorite Wikipedia entry begins, Ronald James Reed was an American philanthropist, investor, janitor, and gas station attendant. Ronald Reed was born in rural Vermont. He was the first person in his family to graduate high school, made all the more impressive by the fact that he hitchhiked to campus each day. For those who knew Ronald Reed, there wasn't much else worth mentioning. His life was as low-key as they come. Reed fixed cars at a gas station for 25 years and swept floors at JCPenney for 17 years. He bought a 2-bedroom house for $12,000 at age 38 and lived there for the rest of his life. He was widowed at age 50 and never remarried. A friend recalled that his main hobby was chopping firewood. Reed died in 2014, aged 92, which is when the humble rural janitor made international headlines. 2,813,503 Americans died in 2014. Fewer than 4,000 of them had a net worth of over $8 million when they passed away. Ronald Reed was one of them. In his will, the former janitor left $2 million to his stepkids and more than $6 million to his local hospital and library. Those who knew Reed were baffled. Where did he get all that money? It turned out there was no secret. There was no lottery win and no inheritance. Reed saved what little he could and invested it in blue chip stocks. Then he waited. For decades on end, his tiny savings compounded into more than $8 million. That's it. From janitor to philanthropist. What an amazing story, right? But was it just luck, or are there lessons and principles that we can learn from this that can work for us too? The latter is very much true, and today I'd like to explore what that looks like. So back to the notion from earlier. As you can probably tell from Ronald Reed's story, he was a low-income earner, but he used the little money he had to build his fortune. So what lessons can we learn from his story? I'm sure you've heard the basic principles that are taught to us many times over when it comes to finances, right? Things like living within your means, creating and sticking to a budget, and all that. But there's more to it than just those principles. Now, I'm not suggesting that those principles are necessary, because they are. But what more is there to it then? Well, most of it, as Morgan Housel suggests in his book, has more to do with emotions and nuances than rules and laws. Now back to Ronald James Reed. The first thing we can observe about him was his consistency. As someone who was a low-income earner, he had to be consistent with his saving and investing. In order to make as much money as he did, he most likely set money aside to invest consistently, which in turn made a huge difference. I've received much criticism in past videos for suggesting that people adopt the habit of dollar cost averaging, and today, despite the criticism, I would like to double down on that statement.
What are they gonna say now? What are they gonna say now?
Dollar cost averaging is a proven method of investing that helps foster consistency and give you good returns. It's a surefire way to grow your investments as it helps you to buy in at different price points, which gets you more when markets are down and less when they're up, so in the end it averages out. But since the trend is upwards, you will be net positive. Dollar cost averaging is one of the easiest ways to stay consistent with your investments. You can quote me on that. As a final nail on this point, there's a quote from Napoleon that Housel also used in the book. This is how it goes. A genius is a man who can do the average thing when everyone else around him is losing his mind. That right there is what dollar cost averaging is all about. The next thing we can learn from Ronald Reed is patience. This is another important factor, and it will tie in nicely with the previous and the next one. Now, we don't know when exactly did Ronald Reed start investing, But judging from his age when he passed on and the amount of money that he made, I would say that he put in years upon years into his investments. It might be tempting when you start seeing a lot of progress to stop doing the very things that got you there in the first place. But that didn't seem to be much of a bother for this man. It was his patience, coupled with discipline, that got him where he needed to be. The fact that people didn't even know about his wealth until after his death also speaks volumes about the kind of strong mental fortitude he displayed. Now we get to my favorite principle, one that I could go on and on about, that is, understanding the principle of compounding. As you probably know, the name of this channel, The Eighth Wonder, was inspired by a quote by the late great physicist Albert Einstein, who is quoted to once have said that compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. Those who understand it earn it. Those who don't, pay it. Ronald Reed was definitely one who understood compound interest and did so well that he earned a lot of it too. By buying into very good companies and waiting for decades, he was able to make a lot of money. So how exactly does compounding work? Well, simply put, it's interest on the principal plus all interest earned before that. This means that the principal amount increases each time interest is calculated. This helps your money grow exponentially. In the case of investing in the stock market, the share price going up, plus dividends in some cases, help to compound the value of your holding. Now let's get practical by looking at an example. Since we're talking about small amounts compounding into big amounts, if you were to invest $500 every month for 40 years, since that's typically how long people tend to work for, at the rate of 8% per annum, the average rate of return in the stock market, you would end up with $1,620,901.93, with your contributions only amounting to $240,000. The rest of it, the $1,380,901.93, would all be interest from compounding. That's the power of compounding. Notice that this does not take things like dividends into account, so the growth potential can be a whole lot higher. It is impossible to talk about compounding and not talk about time. As we learn from the story, Ronald Reed lived to an age of 92, which means that he had a lot of time to compound his money. Going back to the example, if for argument's sake you started investing at age 22 and died at 92 like Ronald Reed, with the same conditions as in the example above, $500 monthly at 8% per annum return, the returns would be a whole lot better. How much exactly? The amount would be $17,019,386.63. Here's the breakdown. Your contributions would amount to $420,000. The interest would be a staggering $16,599,386.63. So the more time your money has to compound, the greater its value will be in the end. So when it comes to earning compound interest, time is your friend. So now that we know all about these principles, what's next? Morgan Housel says this at one point in the book. Finance is overwhelmingly taught as a math-based field, where you put data into a formula and the formula tells you what to do, and it is assumed that you'll just go and do it. But what he has discovered is that knowing what to do tells you nothing about what happens in your head when you try to do it. This is because there's a connection between money and emotions, which despite all the best formulas available, cannot be conquered without addressing the root cause. If we cannot identify and fix the way we think about money, it becomes very difficult to put the knowledge we have into good use, because our emotions get the better of us. Sometimes, we are blinded by certain beliefs that we have held onto for a very long time. Here's a quote from the book that really blew my mind. Your experiences with money make up maybe 0.0000001% of what happened in the world, but maybe 80% of how you think the world works. Crazy, right? Let that sink in. This means that for the most part, a lot of us are getting it all wrong. We operate under biases that we hold dear that just don't serve us right. So, If you're one of those people who at the beginning of this video believe that you need to invest a lot of money in order to make a lot of money, I ask you to dispel that notion and start investing now. It is said that the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, but the second best time is today. So get started. I highly recommend that you read The Psychology of Money. It is such a wonderful book, and it can really open up your mind to how money works, and most importantly, how to make it work for you. Do let me know in the comment section if you've read the book and what you found to be the most interesting in there. If you found value in this video, please show some appreciation by hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel if you haven't already done so. While you're at it, click on the notification bell so you don't miss a video that's dedicated to making compound interest your best interest. Thanks for watching. Here's another video that you might find interesting. Click on it and I'll see you there. And until then, stay invested.